As the NASCAR Cup Series season rolls on, the future of Stewart-Haas Racing grows increasingly uncertain. With rough races and disappointing finishes, fans and experts alike are left wondering what lies ahead for the once dominant team. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into Stewart-Haas Racing's troubles and speculate on what the future may hold for this famous racing organization. Will they bounce back from their recent setbacks, or are we witnessing the end of an era in NASCAR? Tune in to find out. But before that, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button for more whereabouts on NASCAR. Despite Kevin Harvick's great results in his farewell season, Stewart-Haas Racing has not started the 2023 NASCAR season as predicted. The remaining members of Harvick's team have had finishes that have been worse than what was anticipated. Let's take a look at what's going on at Stewart-Haas Racing and make some projections about the team's prospects in the NASCAR Cup Series. The 2023 season has gotten off to a difficult start for Stewart-Haas Racing. Kevin Harvick was just a few laps away from winning the last race of his NASCAR Cup Series career before a late caution messed up his plans. In the end, Harvick wasn't able to make it to the front of the pack because he had to stop on pit road to get 4 new tires. Harvick's crew chief, Rodney Childress, is familiar with his driver and is aware that he likes to be in the offensive position towards the finish of races. The decision made by the number 4 crew was the correct one, but despite that, the race was still a huge success and was packed with excitement. Sadly for Stewart-Haas Racing, the beginning of the season has not been marked by a large number of successful races. Through 6 point-paying races, the team has only had 4 top 10 finishes, with 3 of those coming from Harvick. Chase Briscoe was the other driver to finish. He came in 7th at Phoenix Raceway. To tell you the truth, everyone, with the exception of Harvick, has gotten off to a terrible start. There is no deception in the typical finishing positions, as the remainder of Stewart-Haas Racing sits at position 21 or worse on average. Kevin Harvick has a 12.8 average finishing position. In point of fact, Ryan Preece and Aric Almirola have both finished their races in positions that are worse than 27th place on average. The driver of the number 4 car is also in 4th place in the point standings, while Briscoe is in 23rd. Almirola is in 28th and Preece is in 29th. There's obviously something that is not working, as this cannot be solely attributed to bad luck. It's no secret that Stewart-Haas Racing hasn't had the best luck so far this season. At this moment, Almirola and Preece have barely completed 50% of the races they have entered. It's not all up to luck though, as both drivers have been having trouble keeping up with the pace in some of the races they've competed in. To make matters even worse, the only driver for Stewart-Haas Racing who is now ranked in the top 20 of the point standings is scheduled to retire at the end of the season, and if the reports are accurate, his sponsor, Busch Light, will most likely go to Ross Chastain and Trackhouse Racing. Stewart-Haas Racing is clearly at a crossroads in terms of its future. So, what does the future hold for Stewart-Haas Racing in the NASCAR Cup Series? As was discussed earlier, Harvick is planning to leave the NASCAR Cup Series at the end of the 2023 season. This implies that Stewart-Haas Racing will lose the driver who has been the most successful and reliable for the organization. Due to the lack of performances surrounding Harvick, it is extremely crucial for Stewart-Haas Racing to replace him with a driver who is at the A level, rather than a driver who is at the B level or lower. Yet, if the speculations that are circulating turn out to be accurate, this is going to be a challenging situation. It has been rumored that Chastain and Trackhouse Racing are in negotiations with Busch Light. There has been a significant amount of smoke, and in most cases, the presence of smoke indicates the presence of fire. It is possible that moving forward may be made more difficult if the major sponsor decides to abandon the team. This indicates that the driver of the number 4 vehicle will need to provide considerable sponsorship for the car, or the team will have to find sponsorship themselves. Because of this, Stewart-Haas Racing would not be able to pick their driver based solely on who is the most talented or has the most appeal. On top of this, Almirola will be out the door soon after returning to Stewart-Haas Racing, even though he has said he was retiring. The minutes are ticking away, and it's possible that Smithfield Foods will part ways with Almirola soon. If this is the case, then there are 2 cars that are in need of big sponsorship as well as a driver. Finally, Ryan Preece is allegedly on a 1-year deal with Stewart-Haas Racing, and it has not been a nice start, as he sits as the worst driver in the point standings for Stewart-Haas Racing. The only driver within the company whose future seems to be decided for a significant amount of time is Briscoe. Fans have made a lot of comments about this on social media, and some are wondering if Stewart-Haas Racing could make big changes in the future. Who do you think will be the driver to replace Kevin Harvick after the season end? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button for more updates. Another sponsor priority should be Anheuser-Busch, and hope that they stay. They will also need a backup plan in case the sponsor leaves. Zane Smith, the defending NASCAR Truck Series champion for Front Row Motorsports, should be the main choice to replace Harvick in the number 4 car. Smith, who is 23 years old, is Ford's best prospect, so it would be best to put him in one of the best cars the company makes. The 23-year-old driver for Front Row Motorsports would also have experience because he is racing in some Cup Series races this year. Another driver lineup for Harvick could be Cole Custer. He presently drives for Stewart-Haas Racing in the NASCAR Xfinity Series in the number 0 car, and while some may wonder why he is on this list after being demoted, the answer is simple. Custer is a gifted driver who is anticipated to win numerous races in the 2023 Xfinity Series season. Eventually, the 25-year-old driver will perform so well that Stewart-Haas Racing will have no choice but to elevate him back to the Cup Series. Finally, if they could take John Hunter Nemechek away from Toyota Racing, he would be a good option. Nemechek, who drives the number 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing in the Xfinity Series, has had a fantastic start to the season. If the 25-year-old driver has a breakout season and Toyota Racing does not have an open place in the Cup Series for him, Ford Performance may be able to come in and kidnap him for the number 4 car. If Anheuser-Busch leaves and the team needs a new sponsor, it might be a good idea to move up NASCAR Xfinity Series driver Riley Herbst, if he has a good year and drives for Stewart-Haas Racing. Herbst, who is 24 years old, would bring monster energy and help with sponsorships in hopes of more growth. This could also work for Almirola when Smithfield retires and leaves. The team has a young driver who is being paid to wait for a chance to drive. Stewart-Haas Racing needs to look outside of the manufacturer pipeline, because there are 2 good drivers in the Ford camp. In fact, the team should try to get Eric Jones away from Jimmy Johnson and Legacy Motor Club. Jones, who is 26, has won the Southern 500 twice and the Truck Series. Stewart-Haas Racing could convince the driver of the number 43 car to move over because Legacy Motor Club is behind other Chevrolet teams like Hendrick Motorsports, Trackhouse Racing, and Richard Childress Racing. Stewart-Haas Racing could have a young team with Smith, Herbst, Briscoe, and Jones/Preece, which would let them grow and start over. Even though the first few years might be hard, it would be worth it. The organization might be able to sell a charter, but given the current state of the charter market, who is likely to bite? The price is quite high, and it's possible that Stewart-Haas Racing wouldn't be interested in that scenario anyhow, given how expensive it is. There is not a single other organization in the NASCAR garage area that faces an uncertain future that is comparable to that of Stewart-Haas Racing. The upcoming 6 to 12 months have the potential to be some of the most crucial in the team's entire history. So that's all we've got for today. We hope you enjoyed it. Tell us what you think of the video in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in the upcoming video.